Yeah, Jess. I guess my first question is, how did you adjust to how the Ole Miss defense was playing you, particularly the first 3 quarters? Seemed like it took a while to kind of get you on ball. Were they like denying? I guess how what did you see? How did you just kind of stay with it and make an impact definitely at that point?
I just kept posting, kept listening to Coach McCray, giving my teammates a target, and just finishing. It wasn't working for me in the beginning, but they still continued to go to me, and it started falling for me.
Up next, we're going to have Ben Portnoy.
Jess, you've played in this rivalry game a bunch of times now, but obviously this was a really tight one. I mean, what did you guys see from this Ole Miss team, and I guess what did you guys do or what were they doing to make things difficult on you guys?
Probably the zone defense probably started us a little bit, but we just gotta put two halves together. I feel like that's one thing that we have to do, and we just have to come out better and finish a game better. But other than that, that's really it.
Any more questions for Jess? If not, we're going to get, Joel Coleman.
Yeah, I was just going to kind of follow up on Ben's there for just a second. You've played Ole Miss a number of times. Just how is this whole Ole Miss team different maybe than Ole Miss teams of the recent past?
They're better. I could say that. They got a better post player. They're playing hard, but we matched them and we came out with a dub. It was ugly, but we still got the win.
Well, yeah, obviously you had a big game against Ole Miss last year, another one tonight. I guess what was kind of clicking for you and what was working for you, at least through the first half especially?
Coach Cray always said, start off with an easy shot, get your feel. I think when I came in, I got fouled, got an easy and one, and then from there, I just found my rhythm, found my flow. My teammates were finding me wide open for three, and I was just knocking down shots.
And we've seen you get a little bit more playing time this year, a little bit more in the rotation. I guess what's that done for you and your confidence and just being able to have kind of shoulder a little bit more of that offensive load this year?
It's definitely took me to another level. I've been working on the little things, still not trying to turn over the ball as much and focusing on my defense as best I can. But offense always comes to me, so that's never really been a problem.
Up next, we're going to go to Robbie Falk.
Hey, Aaliyah, I know you were hurt for some of the last ball game against Florida, and that might have hurt you offensively too. But what do you think's been the issue, especially in the fourth quarters of the last couple of games? Y'all have kind of struggled to get an offensive flow. I think y'all gave up a 10-0 run late in that game today, several minutes without scoring. What do you think's been the major issue?
I think we lack confidence when teams goes on us. I think we get confused. We stray from what we know how to do and what we can do best, and it just kind of throws us off a little bit. But once we get used to making the adjustments on the fly, we'll be much better.
Well, first, I'd like to send my prayers out to Coach McNillis at Southern Miss. I was in Conference USA, and I've known her for a long time. Even her time when I was at Memphis, she recruited me. Sent her a text and just want her to know that she is in my prayers and, she's not fighting this battle alone. So that's first and foremost. When it comes to this game tonight, I told our team it's the ugly win, okay? We felt we didn't do some things, in the second half to where, we basically just fell apart. And you can't do that against a very talented Ole Miss team. They are better in all aspects. Coach Joe has done a great job of recruiting talented players. I thought we did a really good job of, shutting down Austin. I complimented our post players for doing that. But, we just really fell apart that second half. We had open looks. We were tired. Not the shots wasn't bad, but those were not the right shots that we needed at the time. And when we missed, we didn't get shots, and we can't hang our hats on offense. We have to lock down and defend, and we'll get better in our ball screen defense. But when we needed to get a stop, we got to stop. And that was very critical for us, and I thought our team was locked in down the stretch and making them take the shot that we wanted them to take, and we got the rebound.
Okay, to start, we're going to go to Jason Crowder.
Coach, congratulations to you. You mentioned some of those issues that you had on the offensive end late. Let's talk defense, though, and some positives. Ole Miss came in averaging around 80 points a contest. You held them to 56. What were some of the things that you were doing to stymie Ole Miss, especially Shakira Austin, who came in their leading scorer, only had 6 points tonight?
Well, I mean, she's a big part of their offense as well as Danetta Johnson. When we had to buckle down, we buckled down. I thought, we paid a lot of attention to her. I thought Danetta got off in ball screens. We can't do that. We can't let a player like that get off. We know what that feels like with someone like Ryan Howard getting off on us. But but we competed. We played hard. I just thought we looked a little tired. I'll go back and look at the practices and things like that. But I know this team is going to play hard. Our team is going to play hard, and they're going to play even harder when they're fresh. So I'll look at that and see where I went wrong. Maybe we were practicing too long or whatever, but I'm always trying to be mindful of their bodies. But we just didn't have the energy in the half, and I don't want to have to coach energy. And I felt like the energy wasn't there, but we sustained enough to get some stops.
And finally, every team needs a player like Aaliyah Matharu that's going to come off the bench and give you some not only quality minutes but quality scoring. What was her performance like out there tonight for your team, and then that spark that you needed in certain stretches when she hit a couple of key threes?
Well, I thought, Aaliyah, she's not afraid to take any shot, whether it's contested, uncontested. She has so much confidence on the offensive end. I've challenged her to be a defensive stopper for us because she's one of the fastest players in this league, and when she sets her mind to guarding the ball and being disciplined on the ball, I think she can keep anybody in front of her. She's been doing extra, coming in and watching film with the coaches, and I think it's paying dividends. I want her to consistently do that. I challenge her all the time in practice because, she's a happy person, got a great heart, but sometimes she gets very casual. That drives me nuts. But, it's part of her personality, and my job is to make her aware of it, to get her to lock in and be very focused. And I think our coaches do a really good job with all of our kids and just understanding the space that they're in. But, I think our kids are starting to understand me and what really ticks me off and what gets at me. They know the effort and energy is something that I cannot tolerate. But, she's been doing a really good job in practice and being focused, asking questions, and it's showing. I told her the other day she's shooting the ball extremely well, barring the Florida game. But she's been shooting lights out in practice, and just, she gets open shots. And, we're confident that she'll knock them down when her feet are set.
Thank you, Coach.
Up next, we're going to go to Ben Portnoy.
Nikki, you kind of touched on it with Aaliyah, and I know obviously you want to see a little bit more from her defensively, but on a night tonight when Rakia wasn't maybe seeing as many shots fall as she usually does, how important is a player like Aaliyah, and do you feel like she's the kind of player that can give you, 12, 15, plus points a game, going forward? I
think when Aaliyah is locked in, I think she could give any team that type of performance. For me, it's just about our team just really, really being locked in. It just goes to show, how we can get production from everybody. And, I told our team there's enough balls to go around, especially with how we play. I'm just trying to get them to understand how to get good shots on the third and fourth side within our offense. And then if you're wide open, take the shot or you can drive to the basket. Rakia didn't have the night. The energy wasn't there. And we'll go back and look at that. But there was some big buckets that she made down the floor where she saw it go in. And I think that gave her a little bit of confidence. But again, I just think the energy wasn't there across the board for her and just for our team. And she's a big part of our team. And when she's different on both ends of the floor, our team is different. I've challenged her as well to be dominant in practice, and I'm going to continue to do that.
Next, we'll have Joe Cook.
Hey, Coach, I was trying to get your viewpoint on just how Ole Miss was defending you guys, especially on the perimeter, kind of denying those entry passes into Jessica, and to counter that, your defense scoring 18 points off the turnovers. Just, I guess we'll get your view of the defenses tonight.
Well, I thought Ole Miss came in and they mixed up their defenses. They took away our driving lanes, and we just didn't read. We didn't read, and we'll get better at that. We knew that they were going to play zone, and we knew that they were going to mix it up, and we just didn't handle it. But again, we made enough plays to where we were able to score some points. I think at one point we our largest lead, I want to say 15 or 16, and then we just fell apart there. So transition is a big thing for us. I thought they completely controlled tempo. And we can't allow a team to come on our home court and control tempo. We have to control tempo in every aspect. We're a team that likes to play on the run. We're going to be most successful on the run. Again, I don't know if that was fatigue or what. I'll have to go back and look. But we looked tired. We didn't have the energy and the extra step that we needed to play at the pace that we want to play with.
Next up, Robbie Fall.
Hey, Coach, are you concerned with those things long term this season, or do you think that it's something that's just come about lately? Or what's your thoughts on kind of where your team is as far as the effort and energy and all that you've mentioned? I think you got out rebounded by 10 too. Where do you feel like your team is in that regard? Are you concerned with that moving forward?
Well, I mean, again, I have to go back and look at practice. I know, we came from Florida. We had players play big minutes, 39, 38 minutes. And then we had 2 days to prep, against this team that was going to play zone against us a lot. And then we had to handle their ball screen defense. And plus, we're a team that likes to play on the run. So I just think when I go back and look at practice, I think that's going to have something to do with our energy, and we don't have a lot of bodies. We didn't have Zaria tonight, so, I have to be mindful of that. But I want our team fresh because I know when they're fresh, they're going to have the effort and energy, and that's been proven. So I don't question how hard they play, but you got to have energy. We don't have, 10,000 fans giving us that. So you got to create that as much as possible. But again, I'll go back and I'll look and see where we were when it comes to our practices and see if they were too long and our shoot around was too long. I thought we had a longer shoot around today than normal. So I'll have to go back and look at that.
Next up, Tyler Horka.
Nikki, you mentioned Ole Miss being better. I'm just curious if this is what you expected out of them. Obviously, you look at games in the recent history of this series, and they haven't been that close. I think this is the closest one since 2015. So I'm just curious your thoughts on Ole Miss and how much better they're playing this year as opposed to years in the past.
I mean, they're better. They're more skilled. They're more athletic, at every position. Again, I thought we had a good cushion there, and then we just fell apart. Again, if that's fatigue, energy, I don't know what it was. But we had enough cushion to where we were able to hold on to the lead, to our lead. But again, we got to be better down the stretch. We have to be better, got to execute better. I thought we took shots. Yes, we were open, but we were tired, and they were short. So to me, that was a fatigue thing. And we can't have that. And again, I'll go back, and I have to go back and look at practice to see, because I don't want our team tired. I need them fresh, because when they're fresh, they're going to play better. They're going to play at the pace that I want them to play. We walked the ball up entirely too much. We allowed Ole Miss to control tempo, and I just think we were tired and didn't have the energy.
Just a quick follow-up to that real quickly. How many times have you seen that in your coaching career where obviously Thursday to Sunday, that's not a lot of time to rest, but I'm just curious if you've seen a team be this tired in the middle of the season. Obviously, there's a long way to go. And then outside of maybe just a little extra rest, how do you combat that when it's already January and there's only a couple months left in the season?
Well, I think, it's just practice planning. For me, I got to look at the time. Our kids, I think our trainers do a really good job of recovery and all of those things. And, it's not about running our kids. It's really about understanding where they are mentally and just giving them the space to be able to come back and be fresh. Mondays is our day off. We always watch a game film on a team, and I got to figure out how to maximize them and not keep them at the gym for a long time to where that becomes fatiguing for them. And then we're trying to get up and down and practice, so we're not losing conditioning, and we don't have a lot of bodies. So I have to look at this game and look at that. I'll take the responsibility of that part. But again, I thought our team was tired. I thought we didn't have the energy. And that is all stuff that's very fixable because we didn't play at the pace we wanted to tonight.
Next up, we'll go to Ben Portnoy.
Nikki, kind of following up on what Tyler was saying, I mean, like you said, I mean, you guys have played, this is an Ole Miss team that hasn't been super competitive against y'all in the past. I mean, do you think that had anything to do with maybe a little bit of the slow start coming out or anything like that?
Yeah, I just think, they went into their zone, and I think it took us a minute to kind of get used to see what they were doing. They were changing up their defense, man, zone, it looked like a zone, and then they were taking away lane. It started us, and that's the good thing about it. We're going to face many different defenses just because we've shown that we have good paint production. We've shown that we can hit shots on the outside. We've shown that we can get in the paint. We're one of the top teams in the country in terms of getting in the paint. And they completely slowed the tempo. They did a 3-quarter press. Again, we didn't handle that very well. Again, we did not push tempo. And, we just we're going to learn from that because we're going to see that against our next opponent. They're going to 3-quarter press and they're going to zone us. But we'll be better. We'll be better.
And just real quickly, in terms of Zaria's outlook, are you hoping to be able to have her back on Thursday against Alabama, or what's her kind of timetable?
I think for me, it's always listen to our medical. When they tell us she's ready to go, that's when she's ready to go. So I'm hoping that she'll be back, on Thursday. I know that she was out today. She was not cleared to play today.
Okay, and we're going to wrap up with Joe Cook.
Yeah, Coach, I was just curious. I know you and Coach Joe are friends, and they all, bump the elbows at the beginning of the game. What's that like? It's a rivalry game, but, you guys are, these two new faces to this rivalry. What was that like, just, competing against her and y'all bringing out the best in each other, in this game?
Well, number one, I have so much respect for Yo and her staff. She's done a tremendous job at Ole Miss and getting her players in there. She's got McDonald All-American. She's got great transfer. She's a phenomenal recruiter. She's a phenomenal person, mom, wife. Just an overall great person. And we're going to support each other. I want her to do well. She wants me to do well other than when we play each other. We're competitors. And but make no mistake, their program is better. In all facets, and that's a contribution to her and her staff and the work ethic that they've done with recruiting, and they're only going to continue to get better as well as we are. But this will always be a rivalry, and at the end of the day, we'll always support each other, until we play each other, just like any competitor.